This is what I think. I have a feeling that I am not the only Black woman who agrees. That they don't have a lane of their own through which their confidence is displayed. So that's when we get to confidence. Now I want to talk a little bit about accountability. My mutual, and I consider her to be, I hero worship this woman, and I like to think of her as a friend, digital sister. She coined the term Darth Becky. If you're a Black woman who has been much in community with white women, who has ever had a situation roll out where a white woman has behaved in a way that required you to call her in or call her out, I'm going to bet that on at least one occasion, that conversation has gone Twilight Zone on you, where extraneous issues that you didn't even know were issues are suddenly brought into the conversation, where there are tears, where there's, I'm a good person, I have a pure, I swear to you, I have never heard anyone but a white woman say I have a pure heart. I have never heard a Black woman say anything about the purity of her heart, in a disagreement especially. But it starts getting down to her good personness. Suddenly, instead of just trying to deal with the issue that you're trying to deal with, which is, you know what? Like, pretend in this particular situation where a white woman had stolen my work, pretend I'd confronted her on it. That conversation is more likely to be about whether or not she's a good person than it is, what are we going to do next about this credit of mine that you stole? I think there are a lot of Black women who are hearing me right now who can identify with the struggle to get an individual white woman in an individual circumstance to accept responsibility where the thing that they've done has been against you. I used to do these racial dialogue rooms, and for whatever reason, this white woman got in her feelings, and she's also a DEI worker, right? And she's very, very meticulous of the moderation that she does in her rooms. She'll keep time on you, she'll ding the timer when your time is up, et cetera, et cetera. And she expects that you respect the way her room is run. Comes into my room, and I'm trying to talk about one particular subject. She decides to derail the entire conversation. And when I attempted to speak to her about it, I couldn't even explain how the conversation went to the places that it went, because it was really, really simple. The simple truth was, the title of the room was talking about race, embracing the discomfort. And she comes in and she's like, white people have no right to feel comfortable, and it shouldn't be about their comfort. And that wasn't the room. The room was about talking about race is uncomfortable. Let's embrace that discomfort, whether we want to be comfortable or not. And suddenly I'm fighting for control over my own room. And she did apologize, as you do. It was one of those apologies that you give when you just want to end the conversation. But she never understood that what she'd done was exercise her privilege in order to derail what was going on in my room. She didn't recognize that she actually derailed what was happening. And I have yet, honestly, to have an encounter with a white woman. I'm trying to think. where I have asked her to hold on to some accountability where it hasn't ended up with serious damage to the relationship. Either the relationship ending or there being a long break in the relationship. But very, very rarely have I had a conversation with a white woman, whether she's a friend or a business acquaintance, where it felt like we were just having the conversation and trying to solve the problem together and figuring out how to take the next steps. It almost always gets derailed into these strange places that have to do with her goodness and her badness as a human being, her virtue. Because I do believe that one of the things that white women are socialized to be is nice. I often joke that, watching The Real Housewives, that these women would rather burn each other's houses down than just admit they don't like each other. That level, when you're socialized to be nice, when niceness is the virtue that gets you what you need and what you want in life, being accused of doing something wrong, the stakes are a lot higher. The stakes become a lot higher than, okay, how do we resolve this situation? And unless a woman has done her work to sort of detach from the idea that she must be, nice 100% of the time, or that niceness has anything at all to do with whether or not she accepts accountability for her actions, then we don't get anywhere. So we've examined confidence and how there doesn't really seem to be a lane for white women to exert themselves in a way that does not cost them socially, that is not either male or black femme. And now we've addressed accountability, which threatens their niceness, which for white women, that is a socialist, that for many white women, they are socialized to niceness from practically birth. Niceness and making sure that things are comfortable for everyone. So by asking for accountability, you've committed two crimes. You've not been nice, and you've also made things uncomfortable. And now there's a trigger. And as a black woman, you don't realize it because that's not how you're raised. I was raised right next to white women, white girls. And I had no idea that all this was going on in their house. I thought we were raised the same. I thought that, the thing that we were talking about was the thing that we were talking about. And the problem that we were trying to solve was the problem that we were trying to solve. And that it didn't have anything to do with anybody's character at all. Unless it was a character issue. In which case, the person had the opportunity to learn and grow or not to. I'm taking my glasses off because I'm getting a lot of glare. Had the opportunity to learn and grow or not to. So now that we've done accountability and confidence, I'm not exactly sure where I'm going next. I got to think a sec. I'll be right back.